This episode is sponsored by The Break Room, downtown's best spot for a hot lunch every business day.
On this episode, Louise Guillen and Kerrice Mapes, Caleb Stevens, Bri D Sanders and Royce Martin, Sherri Camp and Sherri Best from the Topeka Library, and Karl Fundenberger.
We're joined by an entrepreneur. Now, if you like fine food, you're going to love this fine gentleman right here. Kerrice Mapes is here, of course. You brought this guy by.
Yes, Louise.
We'll not call you this guy. We'll call you Louise Guillen.
Yes.
Here in the studio with us. Now, if you knew New City Cafe over in Gage Center, you've now moved your operation to downtown Topeka. You have Louise's place. Tell us about this place.
Well, it's a small place we have here downtown, 5th and Kansas, in the basement. We're basically doing, or our main thing, we're doing caterings. We're doing private events. We do private dinners, lunches, whatever private events do at our location. We can sit up to about 30, 35 people. We've got a few of them, and they're pretty good. I mean, it's a private space. And then we're also opening to the public Friday lunches, and then Friday evenings by reservation only. We're putting out a menu, every different menu, 4-course meal every Monday for that Friday, and like I say, we do it by reservation only. Have different menus every Friday. Same thing with lunch. So lunches we're showcasing, I guess. Two different soups, 3 different salads, 3 different entrees every Friday. The only constant, I guess, is we have the Cuban sandwich every Friday, and then of course the killer salad. We cannot get away from that one.
That's the question.
Yes.
Anytime people say New City Cafe, I think immediately you correlate the killer salad to that. Where did that recipe come from, Louise?
That was that's a recipe from the original owner, from Robert Krause.
Okay.
So it all stayed there, and that's one thing we could never change. We didn't try.
Sometimes you just don't need to. There's no reason to. Yeah,
that's correct.
Now tell us a little bit about the space. I have yet to go. I'm going this week, so
I'm going with you.
Yes, we're going together. Very exciting. So the last time I've been down the space was when it was Bosco's, and of course before that it was Grazzi's. Is that right? The Italian restaurant.
Before, I believe so. Yes, before
that.
Yeah, it's been Grazzi's. Didn't Paisano's start there? Or
I believe
Paisano was
so.
there too. Paisano, I think, was before Grazzi's.
Yeah. So lots of history of amazing restaurants down in that space. Is there anything that you did aesthetically to change it or make it more Louise's place?
Minor things. We did some painting. Some colors were there I didn't like, so we painted the place. But really nothing major. No major changes. Just of course, some of the furniture, some of the decoration stuff that I brought in, but. As a space, well, that building is it's 435 Kansas is in the historical registry. So, there's not a lot you can do to it.
And there's not a lot you need to do.
And,
so cool it is.
and we don't want to do it.
Yeah.
We have that beautiful stone wall and the brick and the ceiling. It's all so beautiful that it's like we just
the 10 ceilings and that's
yes.
just. I mean, there's. That spot has been so cool. You walk down the stairs, you're not sure what you're going to find if you've never been there before, and you get down there, you're like, I'm going down this door. What am I doing? And then you walk in, you're like, this is cool.
Yeah.
It is. That's I love the space. I love the fact that it's a basement. It's secluded. People. We get. You were mentioning Grazzi's and Paisanos. Well, I've had so many customers tell me that they used to go there when it was Theodore's, which was
Theodore's. Yes.
over 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But I had a lady customer came by about a month and a half ago, and I didn't know this. She said that apparently that the location used to be part of a bank way back when there were no computers, so they had to do all the work, all the slips and everything by hand, and that's where they used to do it. So she was showing me, she was telling me, this is where I used to have my desk, and this is where I used to work, and this and that, and she showed me pictures of it. And then she goes like, yeah, that was 65 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Which was amazing. I mean, she was like, okay, 65, you see this lady telling me how 65 years ago she used to
pull the
work
politician
right
line and say, but how could you be 65? Wait, you're 29 years old.
I should have. I missed that chance. Won't happen again.
Maybe wherever the table is now, where her desk used to be, if she becomes a regular, get the chair with her name on it or something. Because she's been in that spot for the longest, obviously.
Desk placards to
put up. Yeah.
Well, now you mention that, it's funny because we have a customer that was a regular, everyday customer, lunch, a new seat, and he had his chair with this plaque and everything. And once we got this place ready to go, of course, I brought his chair with me, and he came down and he looked at the whole space, scoped the whole space out. It's like, okay, that's my spot. So that's where his chair is at. That's his chair. That's where he eats every Friday.
How much fun. Well, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you coming by. That is Chef Luis Guillen here at Luis's Place in downtown Topeka. Of course, our address is 435 South Kansas Avenue there, so be sure to check it out. Find the Facebook page for Luis's Place, and I really do appreciate you coming by to join us today.
Well, thank you very much.
And Kerrice, thanks for bringing this guy by.
Hey, no problem.
Pretty cool stuff. Joining us in the studio is Caleb Stevens. He's the founder of IdentiFight and an adolescent addictions counselor. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Great, great. I've been seeing your stuff online and very uplifting stuff. This whole idea for IdentiFight, where did this come from?
For me, it's always been kind of a struggle figuring out who I was, who I am to be. Throughout my life, I had a lot of people telling me, all right, this is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. But what I was working against was the fact that I'm the only African American in my family. I'm adopted. I do not know my biological parents. Like, there's just so much struggle, and within that, I'm a middle child, I'm rowdy. Like, there's so many things that are going on, and so for me, IdentiFight is the struggle that I lived all my life and just recently realized. The struggle, the fight to develop an identity apart from your family, apart from what other people tell you, the cultural norms, the stigmas, marginalizations, oppression, all these things that make people who they are. The fight to be solid and solidified as you, and to be okay with that.
So you kind of tell a little bit about the background that brought you to this. Now, what do you really hope that it's doing for other people?
I really think that people in general want to feel heard and want to feel validated and affirmed. And for me, what I hope to do is to validate, whether it's the pain or the victory or the struggle or the grind or the fact that, you know, things don't always go well in life, and to really show people that they are worth the work that it takes to get to where they want to go, to who they want to be, to what they want to do. And so for me, I want to make an impact that's deeper than like or that's great. Like, I want to be a legacy.
Like, I am so mad, I'm going to write a Facebook post about it and then let it go, right?
That's right.
Never talk about it again.
That's right, absolutely, yeah.
You got to do something about it,
That's
right?
right, you got to move, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so a lot of the stuff you're posting, you have a Facebook page for IdentiFight, so people should find that and like it. And you post a lot of uplifting stuff. Where does this stuff come from, and what inspires you to put this out there?
Well, some of the pictures and the quotes are my own personal quotes, and pictures that people donate and allow me to use, and I give them credit. But really, it's just things that I see around. You know, social media can really be depressing and very angering, and I mean, let's just be honest, it can really piss you off real quick.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the reality is that just like your legacy and who you are, you have to shape what you see and what you open yourself up to and what you feed. Like what gives you energy and what you get energy from, and, you know, things like that. And so I'm making a constant effort to look up and to find things that I can say, okay, this could really make an impact, or wow, yeah, or, you know, things that, I mean, funny things like that. So I just am constantly looking for things that will help me to know that it's going to be okay.
And you know, I don't know how to ask the question of what's it like to be an adolescent addictions counselor. I mean, I know that's got to be a lot of stress. It's got to be, I mean, it takes a certain kind of commitment to do that, to choose a career like that, and to wake up every day and to go do that. What's that? I mean, if you have to explain it to somebody just like me who's completely ignorant to the whole idea, what's it like?
Well, I would really say that my kids would be able to tell you better, but
yeah.
For me, I think it's a constant time to develop IdentiFight. Like, it is really a constant identity crisis within adolescents these days, because we are forced to grow up so quickly. And so what I run into is people that so drastically want to be loved, but don't know how to ask for love and don't know how to feel love, and throw in abuse, neglect, drug use, addictions, things like that. It is exhausting, but I can promise you that it's worth it every single day, even if I get pissed. It's worth it. They are worth it.
Well, when you're talking to them, are you talking to adolescents who want to be there, or they not want to be there? Do they think they have a problem?
Being at professional treatment services where I work, it always seems so much worse in the assessment while you're filling out paperwork, when you're going through the process of getting there. But what I can always let them know and show them and help them to feel is that this is a safe place where you can be you, where we can meet you where you're at, where we can help you in whatever way you need. Because what people want, and this is not just adolescents, is people want to feel safe. And there's so much danger all over, everywhere, all day, every day, whether it's, overt, or whether it's people like talking behind your back or things like that, things that make you feel jittery, anxious. And so to bring somebody into a space, to invite them into a space and create a space of safety together, it helps them to understand that, it's okay to be a little bit under the weather. It's okay to struggle. We can work with that.
It's amazing how the common reaction to a lot of problems is just to forget about it, push it off to the side, like it's going to go away.
Right.
It doesn't go away till you look it in the eyes, really.
Yeah, that's very true.
Wow. Well, I think it's really great what you're doing here, and thanks for taking a stand and doing something positive that people can just, again, we say there's more to it than clicking a like button. That's true. But one like button you'll want to hit is on the IdentiFight page, because it will help lift you up a little bit. That's what you wanted, right?
Yes, sir.
That's all you're looking for. Well, excellent, excellent. I really do appreciate you coming by, Caleb.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Keep up the great work that you're doing. That's Caleb Stevens with IdentiFight. Check it out on Facebook if you want to feel good. Well, if you don't want to feel good, well, we can't help you there. So thanks a lot, Caleb.
Thank you.
Joining me here in the studio, a couple of really incredible ladies. We've got Bri D Sanders here. How you doing, Bri?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for being here. And then we've got Royce Martin. You've seen her on the show before. She was here talking about the Quincy House a little while back. But we're talking about something really, I think, a very uplifting story today. Bri, first of all, I have to ask, what does the D squared stand for?
Well, my middle name is Damian Dante, and for two reasons, actually. For Damian Dante, and also power given by God, I believe, God, to the second power, like D squared.
There you go. That's good. Very nice, very nice. Now, you're an author. You wrote a book here. You wrote Diamond in the Rough, I Am A Testmony. All right. Now, Royce gave me this book when she came in the last time, and I got to take a look at it. Really some very uplifting stuff here. You had quite a challenging childhood growing up. We'll put it that way. And then you had a lot of challenges thrown at you that you had to overcome in life, and you've done a great job with that, and this book is really a good testament. You've told your stories through this book. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration that drove you to write a book and share your story.
Well, Chris, I was in prison for the 6th time, and every time I would go, at least for the last 2 or 3 times, I kept going to the same cell, A22, and I was just defeated in my spirit, and I cried, and I questioned God. Why? Why do you keep bringing me here? Why do you keep giving me to this place? And at that time, I believe God told me, he said, right. Right. There's no TV. There's no books to read. Right. Somebody else needs to hear what you're going through. And that's when I started to write.
And you've had quite the journey going through here. I just want to read a little bit on the back cover here, just so folks know what this is all about here. Here is about Bri D Sanders here with us. You were born in Mississippi. You moved to Texas, Rock Island, Illinois, and to various cities. So you lived all over the place here.
I did.
Right?
I did.
So you were moving around. You had the generational curse of pregnancy, incarceration, and addiction haunted your path for over 17 years. And today you have written this book in hopes that it will serve as a teaching vessel of survivorship, and that by having a belief in God, anyone in a plight of struggle can and will survive.
Absolutely.
Well, what a wonderful mission. So how long ago did you put this book out?
It was published January 5th of this year, January 5th, 2015. But I first began writing it September 7th, 2007. So,
Wow.
yeah.
And so what brings you on this path all the way to Topeka, Kansas?
Well, my dear friend and I were reunited, and we knew each other in a different path. And once we reconnected, I told her about my book that I had been writing in, and I said, would you look at it, you know? And she looked at it, and here it is.
It's right here in front of us.
Yeah.
And you've got several things going on here. Okay, so I want to tell people how they can find this. Bree Sanders, theauthor.com has a listing of a lot of events that you participate in here. And you can find your book on Amazon and Kindle. Again, the name of it is Diamond in the Rough, I Am A Testmony. So folks, check that book out and share a little love for Bree here and check out the story. I confess, I didn't make it all the way through the book.
Okay.
But I'm definitely going to finish the book if I can still keep this book for a second.
Absolutely.
Because I got in here and I'm just reading this stuff and I didn't want to put it down because the stories are so gripping and they're real life stories.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can tell it came straight from the heart.
And that's how God told me to write it. I kept trying to play with it and everything, and God said, put it out there. It will evoke more conversation. People will still want to know because that story is not unfamiliar. Somebody along the way has went through, if not the exact same thing, something similar. So it's going to invoke conversation, evoke thought, and inspire and motivate to do better. You know, when we know better, we do better. Okay, I put it out there. Now let's do better. Let's do something different.
You know, if you could go today and go back 20 years and talk to yourself, what would you tell yourself?
Keep going. Don't give up. Trust in God every single step of the way. And just don't give up.
And Royce, so this whole connection here, how did we end up bringing Bri to Topeka, and what are we doing to celebrate?
Well, this week she is participating in her first actual motivational speaking opportunities. So she will be at several places in Topeka all week. We are also doing 2 book signings, one in Lawrence, and then Friday will be at Creative Corners, which is at 115 Southeast 6th Street. And this conglomeration came together because Dr. New, who is the principal at Highland Park High School, she is the publisher of Quincy House. And when Bri brought her book to my attention, I read it over. I knew that it had a blessing to be given forward. I was new to this industry as well, so I said, well, let me take it to Dr. New. And 4.5 months later, from August to January, it has come to fruition. So her message of strength, hope, and experience is enlightening. It's empowering. When you read Diamond in the Rough, I Am a Testmony, you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be invigorated, you'll be angry. You also will see that she had the courage to put her life out here and say, nothing but the grace of God.
It takes absolute courage to do that. And for your character, you didn't just work on yourself and then just let it be, to spread that word to other people, because you know, if you've gone through something, chances are a lot of other people have gone through it as well. I never looked at myself as spoiled rotten or anything, but I was spoiled to have a good family, and I'm lucky for that. A lot of opportunities were handed to me because of that. I didn't fight opportunities because I knew that I shouldn't fight opportunities, and others not so much. They don't get that. A lot of people don't. And really want to say thank you for sharing your thoughts and your story here in this book, because I think it not only speaks a lot for your healing, but I think it really offers insights for those who can't understand, what someone else might be going through, and certainly some support for those who understand it all too well.
Exactly.
Really. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for coming here, and folks, be sure to check out everything that Bri has going on while she's in town here. Where's home for you?
Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona, a long way.
Right
so
now.
yep. Well, we thank you for coming here and spreading the word here in Topeka. And Royce, thank you for bringing this all together here and bringing Bri to the show. It's Bri D Sanders and Diamond in the Rough. I am a testimony. Well, I'm not the testimony. That's the name of the book. You're a testimony, and I'll
we all are a
testify
testimony.
that you should check it out.
Yes, all right.
Well, here we have the genealogy librarian from the Topeka and Shawnee County Public Library, Sherri Camp is here. How are you, Sherri?
Hi, Chris. I'm great.
Of course, we've got Kerrice Mapes from 785 Magazine sitting in here because there's so much stuff to talk about with the library, and we just planned, we wanted to grill you for all that information, Sherri.
Okay.
Is it getting hot in here or no?
Just a little bit.
All right, well, we want to talk about something that just happened this weekend, a Celtic celebration. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, wow. This was a year in the making. We got together, our genealogy team, and we put together a celebration for, of course, you know, it's Irish month, and we were thinking, let's celebrate Irish, right?
Yeah.
Irish culture and heritage. However, we also wanted to celebrate Scottish heritage too. So we added them together and we call it the Celtic celebration. That's because we had Irish storytellers, we had bagpipes.
Of course, bagpipes.
The Driscoll dancers from Kansas City, and boy, oh boy, was that great.
Yes.
And we had, let's see, Doug Phoenix, who is an Irishman, tell us stories, you know, from, or actually read us poetry from Robert Burns. And it was really awesome. Of course, he had his outfit on, and his voice was excellent. Yeah, so it all came together to make a really nice celebration. Of course, I can't say anything until I've also said that Barbara Scanlon, the Irish genealogist, was also there with a presentation to teach people how to do their genealogy and tell her story about researching her Irish ancestors.
I believe you said something that we have another Heritage Festival coming up. So
yes.
mark my calendar, and what is it?
That will be the German Heritage Festival we have coming up. That's not the title, but that's a working title. September the 19th.
Okay, so
September the 19th.
So obviously, if you didn't make it last weekend, and/or you're, German heritage, or want to learn more about it, or just, have fun.
Yes.
Mark your calendar for that. So
There's probably not as much green beer at that one. But,
you'll learn and remember and enjoy it at that time. Okay, you can do that one later.
Well, my last name's Schultz, so I'll be there. So.
There you go.
That's Sherri Camp. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Chris.
Folks, don't go away, and be sure to get your library card. Check out all the information at tscpl.org. Joining me is Sherri Best with the Topeka and Shawnee County Public Library, and we're talking about an exhibition at the Alice C. Sabatini Gallery. How you doing, Sherri?
Doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good.
Now, this is an art exhibit for kids.
Exactly.
Not necessarily by kids, but for kids.
But for kids.
Tell us about this.
This was funded by the Sabatini Family Foundation with the idea that Alice Sabatini, for whom our gallery is named, wanted to get kids involved in art. And so an annual art exhibit targeted toward what will interest kids is one of the things that we do every year. So this is our 13th, and this one is called A Hero's Journey. So we're telling 5 stories from 5 cultures, and we are illustrating them with art from the library's art collection.
Cool.
So as we chose these pieces, we kept thinking, will kids respond to this? Will kids like this? Will kids get into it? Because that's the whole purpose.
So to illustrate this point, we have some show and tell items here. So tell us how some of these items came to this collection.
Many were gifts. The African alligator came from Dr. Cotter and Jean Hirschberg. The vessel that has a little face on it, we're calling it our princess pot, is a gift from an anonymous donor. The others, let's see, this one came from Diana Hawks, who had been a Peace Corps volunteer in Liberia. The apple and the world globe and the octopus weight were, I believe, purchases. The ring from China that I'm wearing was a gift from Ruth Ryder Jameson Blair. And then the ring was a purchase, and that's a piece by Robert Ebbendorf. So we get to buy some things that will build the collection. We take gifts. We kind of say how well will something fit our collection, and then if it fits, we add it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So how does this interact with the children who are coming through?
What we're doing is we have each story divided into a different environment.
Okay.
So there's a story about the rainforest, about the desert, about mountains, about the ocean. And the pieces are kind of acting as the speakers of the story.
Okay.
So in one story from Italy that's set in the ocean, there's an octopus, and he's holding a princess hostage. So we have little cartoon bubbles above the pieces that will say different lines from the stories.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, very good. I really do appreciate that, Sherri Best. Thank you.
Certainly.
From the library, we're talking, of course, about the Hero's Journey, the new exhibit in the Alice C. Sabatini Gallery. You have that opportunity to check it out all through the month of April and into May, March 2, whatever. You can't go back. We're not going back.
No.
We're not going back.
Not going back.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Joining me in the studio, it's very, very exciting. We've got this candy apple red bike here from Topeka Metro Bikes, and to talk about that, we've got Karl Fundenberger. How you doing, Karl?
Doing well, thanks, Chris.
Now, you came on, we had the green prototype here
Right.
of this bike. We took a look at it. We were so excited, and it just seemed like it was forever that it was going to be before we had these bikes, and now we're like right there. The window of time, it's approaching. The program is just right on the verge here, right?
We are 2 weeks away from launch, so it's so close.
Okay, so what's it been like since you came on, talk about it last time, implementing this program in Topeka? What's your job been like doing that?
Right, well, I've been doing a lot of promotion. I've been out and about speaking with various clubs and groups and hauling the demo bike around. You know, just a couple weeks ago, we got our red bikes, so it's been really exciting bringing the new bikes around and really showing people what it's actually going to look like.
That's cool. And there's 100 of these bikes in Topeka now?
That's right.
Okay, so just kind of give us the elevator speech about how the system works with these bikes.
Sure. So you can sign up online at topekametrobikes.org. And if you'd like to sign up for a year, it's $25. And that gives you 2 hours of free riding time a day.
Cool.
And so that's sort of one way to sign up. But if maybe you're visiting Topeka, you'd like to just sign up for a weekend, you can sign up for hourly, and that's $2.50. So
cool. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah. It's pretty cool stuff. I'm really excited about these because, you know, downtown in this area, we've found out that we're going to have not only the Quincy Street Station, but we've got one down on 6th as well, kind of by the Visit Topeka office.
That's right.
So great little ways for us to get around, especially in this little neighborhood down here.
Yeah.
I say little neighborhood. There's like 30,000 people working down here every day. But when you're looking at something like that, mobility is really important for people. And maybe you don't want to have a car. Well, this makes it an option.
Right, and folks commuting into town, we think this will be a great option for folks downtown. You know, maybe they do rideshare or something on the way to work. But if they want to get out at lunch and cruise a bit, you know, the bike should be a great option.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And you can lock up so many places downtown. We'll have the 2 stations, one at 9th and Quincy and one at 6th and Kansas.
Okay.
But the lock is built in with the bike.
Okay.
And so you can lock up at any parking meter or any bike rack.
That's cool.
Downtown, you've got a lot of options.
Very cool. So how do they get around? Like, how do you guys make sure that, you know, there's bikes where they need to be?
Sure.
Or how do you transport them? How does that work?
We'll be in a pickup truck.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
We'll go pick up the strays every so often and bring them back to stations. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So when is the official kickoff for this?
So April 15th.
Okay.
That is the launch day. We're launching at Washburn University at 11 a.m. We're having sort of an open house event for the first hour and a half, and then at 1 o'clock, kickstands up, and we're doing a bike ride to the library, the public library, and then back to Washburn, just a little parade to sort of commemorate the launch.
Very cool. Well, I'm so excited about this. It's such a wonderful new concept. Great to see it here, and being the first in Kansas. I mean, yeah, right? That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
Right.
Well, good stuff. Well, thank you so much, Karl Fundenberger. And you could check out the Topeka Metro Bikes website, find out all the information you need to know about that. Is there communications on Facebook as well for this?
We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Pretty soon we're going to have an Instagram contest, so you should definitely look us up there, Topeka Metro Bikes. Yep.
Very good. We'll certainly will do that. Well, thank you so much for coming by, and great luck. Best wishes on the kickoff of the Topeka Metro Bikes.
Thanks, Chris.
You bet. Thank you.